I sometimes will watch whichever network that is, go in and watch highlights. I'm watching highlights that are not even, sometimes I just, depending on the game, like, Lakers and the Suns, which that's a great game there. But whether it's basketball, baseball, or whatnot, or sometimes I'll just go on in my computer and want to know what highlights these are, and preferably go to that league's site to get the highlights, because sometimes you're not really truly seeing what you should. And I don't know, Ed, like they're not getting any love, and it's not only because it's our home team or anything like that. I see it with other teams, or I see I'd say baseball, and that happened last season where I was, this is a great matchup, and let me go on to the sports network and see the highlights, but there's nothing, even though there was a great play that could have made the top 10.
It really is frustrating because the Suns are doing everything they can. Monty Williams and James Jones have done a phenomenal job to get the Phoenix Suns to where they are right now, 11 games over 500, taking on the world champions tonight, and they are on TNT as a result. So they are on national television tonight. They've had a lot of national television televised games, the Phoenix Suns have, but still, for K-Ray to come out, one of the voices of the Phoenix Suns, and voice his displeasure at the fact that the Suns are very rarely given any love from the national television. And Devin Booker is the prime example of it. I don't know what this kid has to do more in his career to show people that he's an all-star, that he is one of the top young talents in the National Basketball Association, Joanna. I don't know who has a vendetta against Robert Sarver and the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker, but whoever does has got to stop this, because this is a team on the rise, and they need to pay attention to them, because they're surprising some people. They're surprising a lot of people, and they will continue to do that. This is a very good basketball team, and people need to step up and see this.
No, I agree, and you just said it for me, Ed. Like, what does Devin Booker have to do to get called as an all-star, not a reserve, a starter in an all-star game? And this isn't the first season, not the first time. And it's total, and I agree with you, and it's totally unfair. Once I heard that, I was like, "Are you flipping kidding me?"
Yeah,
really.
I know.
So, and I know D-Book is, not happy at all, and I know he's voiced it. I don't know, like, really, what does he have to do? I don't think he can. What more can he do? I don't think there's anything more that he can do to prove himself. He more than deserves to be there.
Yes, and it's not fair to him because he balls out every night. Look what he did on Sunday against Minnesota. 43 points. He scored 21 points in the third quarter, Joanna. If that's not an all-star, a guy that's leading his team to the number 3 record in the Western Conference. They were 12-3 in February, Joanna. He's the player of the month alongside James Harden, the young man we just talked about a few minutes ago. Yep. What's wrong with Devin Booker? The kid, all he does is play great basketball, and he has his team in prime position to compete in the Western Conference and potentially win it. That's how good they are. Yep.
I know. I don't know. I have no words. Sometimes when I get not so happy, I lose my words and don't know what to say.
Yeah. It is so unfair to him. It is. It's so unfair, and it's not right that Devin is just being overlooked. He's just being like, just shuffled in a corner.
You know what, Ed? This, at the same time, it does piss me off, makes me unhappy, but it does not surprise me, because Arizona teams, they're the ugly duckling per se. You can have great players. You could have a great season, but you don't get recognized until it's a little bit too late. And then we're like, one of the things that I will say, and I'm glad that this is happening, because for a while, the Arizona Cardinals wasn't getting that love, and recently they've been getting that love, and they did, and I'm glad that they got it last season, and it was recognized. Mm-hmm. But we've seen it with the Phoenix Suns before. So yes, last year they didn't get that love until after their 8-0 run.
Yeah, after the bubble,
after the season.
Yes.
And everyone was surprised. And they still were like, no, they're not going to get anywhere. They're not going to do anything. And then what happened? And then now it's like, okay, well, they were saying, look out for this team. They're, and once the season starts up, this is a team to look out for, but are they getting any love?
No.
Not so much.
No, Johanna, not
only D-Book too, but, they have Chris Paul. They have other great players that we can go ahead and name the entire, whoever, everyone in the team.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. You can name the entire roster. We can take all night to do that. But
none of them are getting any love.
No.
At all.
All you do, Johanna, to follow up an 8-0 perfect record in Orlando is be 22-11. You're number 3 in the Western Conference. That's all you do to follow that up.
So hopefully it's not a little bit too late before it started getting recognized and it doesn't happen as last season, but then making that run and then being, having them make the playoffs and being like, oh, we should have paid a little bit more closer attention to the Phoenix Suns and what they have.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't dismiss the Phoenix Suns just because, it's been a long time since they were relevant, Johanna, from a winning standpoint. They've been through a lot of lean years, and I'm sure Robert Sarver has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way over those years. And I'm sure he may or may not admit to it, but it's factual. He hasn't been the most affable owner of any major sports team, but he's gotten himself together. He's let James Jones and Monty Williams run the ship as opposed to like years before where he would just run through general managers and run through head coaches.
And they've done a great job of it.
Yes.
Great job. And they've turned the team around so quickly.
Yes.
And then look at the team now. 2 seasons. Really? Is it like 2 seasons in or 3 seasons?
Yeah.
Where they're at
2.
now.
Mm-hmm.
2. Yeah. I was right. 2. It seems longer than that. I guess last year was equals for 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, with the year plus, Joe, with the year plus we've been through it, they may have been there 3 years. We don't know.
But yeah, like we haven't had this since Steve Nash and back probably like a true winning Suns.
Yeah,
era.
When Steve and Amari was here and Sean Marion and guys like that. It's been a long time.
It's been a very long time. So it's good to see. And I can understand it. Why? They're like, oh, it's only 1 season. But if you're really, are paying attention to your basketball and your teams and who's out there and who's hot and who's not, well, the Phoenix Suns is one of those teams that's hot, and pay a little closer attention because they will, they're better than what you might expect.
Yes, the real people that know and love the NBA know the Phoenix Suns are on the rise. They know how good the Suns are. For just casual fans or just casual people that are just kind of looking, oh, the Suns, they are actually pretty good. They don't matter. And what this does is it just adds fuel to the fire for the Phoenix Suns, doesn't it? Doesn't it light a fire under them that they're being so overlooked? Does this not motivate them even more, Johanna?
It does. It does. I think for just any team in general that you're just being overlooked and not given the credit that you're due, it lights a fire even more. To get that recognition and be like, oh, you ignored us and you don't think that we're good enough. Well, check this out.
Yeah, check this out while we're walking all the way to the NBA Finals, we hope.
Fingers crossed. Let's hope that happens. The Phoenix Suns, they can go ahead and bring a championship home because gosh knows how long that's been in since that's happened. Many, many, many years.
Never.
A little. Well, no, it hasn't. We haven't brought it home, which is what I mean. They had the opportunity to, but that didn't happen.
Back in '93, that didn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks to Michael Jordan and John Paxson, that didn't happen.
I was trying not to go there, Ed.
Oh.
But yeah, sorry. Thanks to the Bulls and Jordan and Paxson.
Yeah. Yep.
Anywho, and that
I'm reliving that shot in my mind. I'm picturing it right now.
Ed. I was going to say that. I stopped saying it because I didn't want to go there again. Come on.
I know.
This is like, you're making me like relive memories that I really do not want to. It's like earlier today when I was listening to one of the sports shows, many sports shows that I listen to. But there was, they were reliving and talking about the Arizona Cardinals and Pittsburgh Steelers, that Super Bowl.
Oh, 2009, yes.
It was just giving me like the chills and every single emotion that I was having during that game, it was all coming back, rushing back. And it's like such a great game and one of the best football games or Super Bowls that I've ever seen. But just getting to that moment of Cardinals not getting that win, it hurts, it pains me. And it was like, oh, so it all started and now it continues. Painful memories.
Very painful. Well, so, I was going to say, I was going to mention one play from that game, but I won't. You probably know what play I'm talking about. I won't.
Moving on to happier things. If you keep track of the day, if you keep track of your months, you know what time it is. It is, and it's here. It's March Madness, NCAA tournament time.
Yes.
So on to happier things, Ed. So, the tournaments, they are starting Wednesday. How exciting is that? Very
exciting.
So we still don't know what the bracket looks like. There's the games and tournaments that will be played throughout, the following days. But the excitement is here. I cannot wait to see who gets into the big event of the year. We have been talking about this throughout and leading up to the tournament. Gonzaga and Baylor going head to head. Baylor lost over the weekend and they dropped down to number 3. They won against, who was that? Was that Virginia? West Virginia?
West Virginia. Yeah, they won tonight against West Virginia, beat them in overtime.
They won, and it seems like they may go up to number 2 or they may stay at number 3. We still need to find out what the final outcome of the games will be for tonight. And, because we have Illinois and Michigan going head to head.
If you ask me, Joanna, Illinois going to Michigan and beating them by 23, being the number 2 team in the country, my money would be on Illinois going to number 2. For them to go to Ann Arbor and beat the Michigan Wolverines that badly, that should get them the number 2 spot. Not that going to West Virginia and beating the Mountaineers is not, that's not chopped liver for Baylor, but Illinois beating the number 2 team in the country in their own building, that should jump them to number 2. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. And you and I were chatting about this earlier. And yeah, I totally agree. I think the Illinois and against Michigan, because Michigan is a big piece of the pie there.
Yes.
So that's going to get you more points if you eat that pie. So, that's making me hungry. You can tell I'm hungry. I'm talking about food here, sport references. Yeah, I think that's going to be Illinois is going to be number 2. Our good friend, and we just had him on, Coley Harvey. He, in Illinois, even the weekend before, they put on a great game, which is a total blowout. Was it 20 or 30 points that they had win? I forgot against, I can't remember what team that they played. So much basketball that's happening. Hard to keep track of them, who played who.
I know, right?
And then, the performance, against West Virginia and going into overtime. So I think Illinois is going to, and just seeing the little bit that I have seen out of Illinois, yes, they're going to be a team to watch out for going into these tournaments and into March Madness, and as you get your brackets ready, because it's that time. It's here to fill out your brackets. I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to call Coley out. Bring out your brackets and see who. I'm going to have 2 brackets. Don't forget that.
Are you really?
My logic and my heart. Brain versus the heart. So I always have 2 brackets. I do that every single year. So
very cool.
But yes, there will still remain to be seen of what will be the final stance for Baylor. Gonzaga, number 1. So that's another team to be fearful of there.
Absolutely.
They make it through. I won't say anything, but I'm still hopeful. I'm hopeful every single year. So I'll hope we'll see how far. Hopefully they make it all the way through. I won't jinx anything. don't want to jinx anything. So I'm keeping my mouth